Of our halftime. It was 50 years ago that the Richmond Spiders won their first and only bowl game, 1968, the Tangerine Bowl team. And look at those guys, huh? Maybe some of them could still play. But they have had a great weekend back here in Richmond on campus at Robins Stadium, celebrating 50 years since the Tangerine Bowl victory over Ohio back in 1968. The Spiders were prohibitive underdogs in that game, and they won it 49-42. And they were led by a couple of Hall of Famers, quarterback Buster O'Brien and wide receiver Walker Gillette. We had an opportunity earlier to sit down with both of those Spider Hall of Famers and reminisce a little bit. 50 years ago to the 1968 Tangerine Bowl team being honored and celebrated today at Robins Stadium. We have an opportunity now to talk with two of the stars, two University of Richmond Hall of Famers who led to the Spiders to victory on that day. Buster O'Brien, Spider quarterback, and Walker Gillette, Spider wide receiver, who were indeed two of the standouts in that game. Buster, 39 of 58, 447 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. But the stats don't tell the story. You tell the story of that game. How were the Spiders able to pull off such a monumental upset against a team that was unbeaten and untied and nationally ranked going in?
Well, first of all, we had good people. We had a good coaching staff. We had good players, and that was the most important thing. But then Ohio, as far as their defense, they played the same defense all night, and they'd get in the defense and play whatever it was. They changed defenses, but they played the same. So after the second snap, we knew what they were going to do. And we just took advantage of it. Started slinging it around to this guy.
Yeah, you had 39 completions, but 20 of them went to this guy, to Walker Gillette. How come?
20 went to Walker. If you got Walker Gillette playing for you, you're going to throw the ball 20 times. Yeah.
Wouldn't you think the defense would figure that out eventually? What were they trying to do?
Well, they were playing what we call a cover two. They were playing two safeties, and they were playing zone underneath. And but he kept getting open.
Walker. At what point do you kind of go to your quarterback and say, hey, they can't cover me, get me the ball?
Well, it's interesting. The thing that happened that night is we started the game off running the ball. And I remember Coach Jones calling us over on the sideline. He said, these linebackers are coming up, and every time we ran the ball, they're hitting our running back to the line of scrimmage. He said, we're going to change this. We're going to get these linebackers off the line of screen. He said, Buster, start throwing the ball. We're going to throw. And of course, I'm just grinning, and shooting. But he started throwing, and he just kept right on throwing. And those linebackers finally realized they had to back up, and then we started running the ball sometime, throw the ball at the flat to Jimmy Crenshaw, one of the running backs coming around on the outside. But I'll never forget it when we were on the sideline, and Frank said, we're going to start throwing now.
You got a big smile on your face. And it was a shootout, right? 49-42. At what point did you figure, hey, maybe the team that has the ball last is going to win this thing?
I don't know. You can't keep track of the score that well when you're playing with that much going on. It's just we'd score, they'd score. There was big plays going on the field all the time. I remember at the very end we were ahead, and what was it, about just a few seconds left. Yeah, and that's when we realized we were going to win. Not till then. I said, they can't beat us now. And that's a good feeling to be on the field the last few and say, we got it.
Did you realize how big a deal it really was to do what you did?
No, I didn't. I don't think I realized how big the game was. I'm sure Frank Jones knew how big the game was because it put the school on the map. And it was my junior year, so it did a lot for me because to start my senior year, I mean, everybody was looking to see what I was going to do again. But I didn't think about how big it was. There wasn't that many bowl games back then, but I was just glad to be down in Orlando and have a little warm weather practice. There's no Disneyland. There was nothing in Orlando. But we had a great time down there.
What do you remember from that, from the feedback, from the aftermath, Buster, of celebrating, one of the biggest wins in Richmond athletics history?
This is going to sound like it's not a true story, but it is. I don't go a single week ever without somebody saying something about the Tangerine Bowl to this day. Mm-hmm. And I think I told you a little while ago, I was in Orlando last weekend to see my son. And some guy found out I went to the University of Richmond. He said, I was at the Tangerine Bowl game a long time ago. And I said, I was.